Hello, hello. What up? Hello, hello. Hello, how's it going? There we go. Shoo! What up, chatters? How y'all doing today? Welcome back to the stream. Yo, yo, yo. This title is not clickbait. I do not care that much about the viewership of my stream that I would make up a lie like this and spoil the announcement of Chessboxing. It is a true, real-ass tweet. Or title. Which is why I'm live today to talk about it. I'm live here to talk about it. I got a bunch of stuff to talk about here with you all today. Let me tag the entirety of my Discord. Let them know I'm live on youtube.com/@Ludwig/live. Chessboxing is canceled. Let's talk about why. I worded that like such a fucking millennial. God damn it. He made a PowerPoint? I didn't make a fucking PowerPoint, all right? I do a channel called Mogul Mail. I got the systems down. Before I jump into it, I got a tweet about it too. All right, chat. Hello. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Hello. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the stream. It has been a few days since I last went live. I've been trying to go live, but it's been somewhat difficult because I've been in like 4 or 5 hours of meetings every day. A lot of them pertaining to what we are talking about today, what I'm going to explain to you guys, which is why Chessboxing is not happening. So, and it ended up being difficult at like 7 p.m. to muster the energy to go live after all the meetings and the bummer news. And so I didn't want to go live and have a stinker stream and then be even, you know, more bummed. Overall, I'll start out by saying I'm not sad, okay? I'm bummed, different, but I'm not sad. I'm very motivated by this. A lot of stuff happened outside of my control. A lot of stuff happened inside my control, and it makes me feel much more, how you say, excited, confident, and determined for next year, is how I'll put it. And I'll explain that all a bit later. Where do I find that? Over here. No? Great. Sorry, I made a giant-ass document, and in the document, I got everything I'm talking about. So I'm pulling up last second affairs. Okay. Is this allowed to be shown? I think the answer is no. I think I will get arrested by YouTube if I show you guys this. Stop. Ludwig, why didn't you do this before stream? Anyway, chat. Hello. Today, the game plan is talk about this. We'll do a vibe check after. I'm hoping to stay live. I don't know what the hell I'll do exactly. There's a new jet lag. Maybe I watch that. Maybe I play some games. Who knows? But I would like to stay live generally. That's what my hope is. And then tomorrow, I'm not playing CS2 today. I'm not playing CS2. Today is the worst day for me to play CS2. The viewership, if I were to play CS2 today, is going to be just horrendous. Any other day, it might be like somewhat decent, but the day it comes out, nobody wants to watch my fucking dumb ass play the video game. Nobody. But tomorrow, regardless of what happens today, I'm going to say this right now. I want to say it at the top of the stream for VOD Frogs and for Drama Frogs. Tomorrow at noon Pacific, Me and Squeaks are going to go live together. If you might take a peek over here, you'll see a different stream setup. That's Squeaks' stream setup. We are going to be doing a 24-hour stream together in the same room. That's the game plan. I think it sounds like a whole lot of fun. I'm excited for it. We have the whole day scheduled out. Squeaks has demanded time to sleep. I'm hoping I can convince him that we won't need to sleep because we have friendship and love and subscribers to get. And that might motivate him. We'll see. We'll have to motivate him, chat. But I'll give you a quick rundown. I know we're going to get into why Chessboxing is not happening, but I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you at the top and bottom of this what we're doing. Here it is. Here's our agenda. We have a 24-hour stream. It starts out, all right, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, 9 Euros. Doing a little intro. We're recreating a TikTok that Jake Paul did with Vivek Ramaswamy. This was a specific request by Squeaks, and I would never take away a wish from a young streamer, a small streamer like him. Then we got Bro vs. Bro. Loser of Bro vs. Bro does the Doug Doug Challenge. Let me preface, that is not the entire Doug Doug Challenge. That just means that the winner gets to pick the restaurant, and then the loser has to eat whatever the previous person ate for their food. So it's more of a Billy challenge than it is a Doug Doug challenge. Then we're going to play basketball together. 5:30 shower and vibe. That should be self-explanatory. We're going to shower and vibe together. 6 o'clock, we're doing a water tier list. This was Squeaks' ask. I don't know why. Poker 1v1 at 7. Painting Bob Ross at 8. Mario 120 star at 9. This is what I'm most excited for, by the way. Real quick, and again, we're going to get into why Chessboxing isn't happening in just a second. Squeaks has never done a 120 star in his life. He said he doesn't know where the stars are. So I think there's a universe. I beat pro speedrunner Squeaks. He almost tried to baby his way out of this by saying, everyone's going to make fun of me. And I said, everyone already does make fun of you, Squeaks. It's okay. Then I have to do a reset because YouTube hasn't figured out how to do live streams in the year 2023 of our Lord and Savior, and you can't do a stream longer than 20 or 12 hours. And we're going to do couples compatibility quiz and then co-op legends. Rocket League, Wingman on CS2, played up Fall Guys, Yo Guess or Fortnite. We got to do some type of shit. And then sleep time, breakfast, who's smarter between us two. You laugh, you turn off the stream. Bing, bang, boom. Should be a fun day. That's it. That's that. Figured it was worth chatting about. Now let's get to the less exciting news. Chessboxing is canceled. Hold up. I'm plotting out a tweet. Whew! All right. Bam. I made a wrap. I'm not even gonna get to eat it. It's a fucking delicious wrap. It's like a beautiful hot honey ham and cheese wrap with, I'm gonna remind me to eat that later because it's gonna be so exciting. Don't say ew. It's delicious. Hot honey is one of the greatest foods on earth. All right. Chessboxing is canceled. The title's not clickbait. It is definitely not happening this year. Not only is it not happening, but I've put 9 months of work into making it happen in over $100,000, which is all gone. That money is gone. Sunk cost philosophy is not real. It's a fallacy, and I will never get that money back. Why is Chessboxing canceled? That is the question we need to answer today. That's my job to explain to you. I know a lot of you were expecting Chessboxing to happen, right? And I obviously, this goes without saying, I'm very bummed it's not happening. I consider this far and away the biggest failure of my career to this date. I don't think it's close. I think there's a lot of other things that maybe didn't go as well as I thought they would. You know, Brew Battles didn't get the viewership I wanted, but the amount of effort and time put into this and the sunk cost, easily biggest failure to date. It was definitely a lot to get through, and to find out that it won't happen. Here's the art. Here's a little bit of what George cooked up in house. This is what it was supposed to look like. Bit of the vibes from Mogul Chess Boxing. For anyone who isn't aware, somehow, Mogul Chess Boxing is the event that I put on last year, about 9 months ago, and it was definitely the biggest thing I've done as a live streamer. I think peak viewership, we got 300 some odd thousand people tuning in at one point. The VOD has almost 4 million views. All the VODs of all the matches eclipsed 10 million views. It also had Germa.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
In a unprecedented AI form.
To the Mogul Chess Boxing Championship, presented by Fansly.
And even had a Fansly sponsorship that almost got me canceled. So a lot of shit happened. And when I do events, I have a general rule I like to follow. I don't like to repeat them. And this drives Kelby, who's the sales guy in charge of Off-Brand, mad. Drives him up the wall. Because what you need to do in the world of content is create something that's easily repeatable, do it 1,000 times over, so it's a very predictable product for sponsors, and then sell it out the ass. Case in point, ridiculousness, right? That's the model that you should follow. You shouldn't try to create something new every time. But I don't like doing it because I've always hated, and I think this is just a human thing, being known for one thing. I've always resented the idea that I would be known for one thing. I want to do multiple things. I don't want to be the chess boxing guy. I don't want to be the really good gamer guy. I don't want to be the good hair guy. And so I've gotten rid of all three of those in the past year. However, chess boxing was a very cool event and was not at its peak, right? There was still room to grow. I'm down to do an event again if there's a way to iterate on it and make it better than before. I don't like it if it's just the same thing. I'll give you an example. Mogul Money. It was a very derivative show, I should say. It was basically Jeopardy, right? Like, let's keep it a buck. It was basically Jeopardy. It was a good product because Jeopardy's a good product, but it was Jeopardy with my rich, famous streamer friends. I didn't feel good about just doing a season of Mogul Money every year, even though it was very, very, very successful in some of my most viewed content, because it didn't feel very creatively rewarding, and also I didn't know how to make it better. Chess boxing, I do know how to make it better. And the first thing that came to my mind was, well, how about we take this shit to Las fucking Vegas, baby. That was my big idea. How do you make chess boxing bigger? Well, you get some bigger and better fighters. You get some of the best chess players in the world maybe to help promote it. And then you go to Las Vegas, the fighting capital of the world. That was my idea, right? And there were some other things that I won't be able to talk about today that we had planned for it. And stick around to the end, by the way, because there's an event that I still get to announce that's going to replace chess boxing that I'm going to be a part of next week. But anyway, this was my idea, right? And a lot of people might be thinking, is what happened you wanted to do in Vegas? You talked to a venue and then it fell through and you put a deposit or something? No, I actually had a venue. We were going to do this at the Orleans. We had this beautiful venue set up. We even have a Ticketmaster page that some people have found that we had ready to go. We were very, very deep in this process. Again, we have been working on this for 9 months. And I haven't been exactly quiet about the fact that I'm trying to do this chess boxing event again. I was very forthcoming about it. In fact, you guys probably saw that I tweeted out, hypothetically, if I needed one more card for a certain boxing hybrid event, who would want to take part? And this was not me inventing skydive chess boxing. It was just chess boxing. That was it. And from that, we actually had a lot of great fighters, which I was super pumped about, including one you might have seen from the leak herself, Extra Emily. God bless her heart.
I can eat whatever I want. Is that what y'all saying? So I'm gonna eat my burger. I'm gonna eat my fries. I'm gonna eat I don't know, maybe some oily pizza, 3 of them a day, and then it'll be delicious. No, I'm just worried. I don't know how to find a trainer. Like, I want a trainer that's gonna dictate my whole life for me. Like, I want to be like, okay, tell me when to wake up, tell me when to go to the gym, what to eat, and when I stream and stuff.
God bless her heart. I think it was within 24 hours of her agreeing to do it, she leaked it on stream. I was actually impressed. But now it's my turn to be the leak. I'm going to show you all the prospective matches we had lined up for Mogul Chess Boxing this year. And some of them you might expect, some of them might be somewhat exciting for you guys. And again, bear in mind, not all of these were signed. Most of them were, and some were prospective fights. This was our list. And the big one, and the guy who I feel the most disappointed for, in fact, I feel disappointed for all these fighters. That was the toughest thing in dealing with this, is dealing with the fighters. I'll talk about that in a second. But first, we had people like Slime, who's going to fight the stock guy. It was going to be our boomer match. Slime has been training his ass off in both chess and boxing for the past few months. We had Ethos versus Yasuo, a League versus Valorant event. We had Nemo versus Anna Maya, like a women's Grand Master match. Extra Emily was going to fight Sandwich. Toph Sonic Fox, that was the perspective match. That wasn't locked. We had two chess GMs. These two are chess boxing pros. One is like the GOAT of chess boxing. One is the reigning champ. We had another women's Grand Master match. So we had 4 women's cards, which I thought was really awesome. And we even had Tubbo and Skeppy. Tubbo and Skeppy, which is going to be super hype. So a lot of great fights. This isn't all the fights. This is a lot of the fights that we had prepped until we found out that there might be something going wrong. And that was part of the hardest part of this for me, right? Because when I do an event, I ask people to do the event, right? I have to. When I do World's Greatest Gamer, I say, hey, Jerax, Tens, will you come do this? And most of the time, I'm not paying them as much as they should be getting paid, right? Like, they get part of the prize pool, sure, but if Tens just went live, he'd make more money. But Mogul Chess Boxing, I almost didn't run it this year, even though it would make a lot of sense, even though it was the biggest event I ever ran, because it's such a big ask of other people. It's a huge ask. I'm asking people to get punched in the face. And there will be a loser. Every fight I set up, one person's going to be a fucking loser. And that's a very big thing for me to grapple with. I don't like that. I don't feel good about that. And I feel even worse about it because I am not personally fighting, right? Like, it'd feel better, I think, if I was in the mix with everybody, but I put more value in hosting it than me getting my ass beat on stage. And so all these people who said yes to me, like, are fucking amazing people. Like, I'm like so deeply humbled and flattered if I ask somebody like Extra Emily or, you know, even my best friend Slime or the stock guy to fight and get punched and train their ass off for months, and they say yes, that's insane to me. So to go back to them and say, hey, we have to cancel it, that was tough, right? That's a very tough thing. And now we have to talk about the big question of today. Why? Why is it getting canceled? Right? We ran it last year. It went really well. It was, you know, liked by fans. The competitors seem to enjoy it. Why are we canceling it? And it comes down to the difference between boxing and basically every other sport you can play, right? With maybe the exception of football, which probably should have a little more oversight. Boxing is a trickier sport to operate, which makes sense. It should be. It is a more dangerous sport because you can get injured when you do boxing, like happened to some of the competitors last year, like Toast. Toast talked about, this is, I think, within a week or two after the chess boxing event last year. He talked about
the chess portion,
how he had some concussion.
Concussed. I know this because I don't like bright lights. Like, we were hanging out in the theater room. I'm like, I wasn't looking at the screen because I can't. It was giving me a headache.
Wow.
And we had an OTV party the other day, and I was like, I saw a huge crowd, and I saw like a lot of my friends. Like, I remember seeing Ludwig like in the kitchen. I wanted to go over and say hi, and I just turned around and went to my room because like the noise level was too high and it was hurting my head. That's
all I see is this gigantic bright light in my life.
You said that, I'm like, huh.
And to be clear, I think we ran the event really well last year. There are injuries, like inherently, even if you run it perfectly, people can get injured. People can get much more than injured. People can die boxing, right? Even if you do everything correctly. I think we ran it really well, right? Last year, we had 2 ambulances on site. We had professional referees. We had oversight from the Chess Boxing Federation. And we had like cutmen for all the fighters. We had a bunch of stuff going for us. What we didn't have last year is an oversight from an American like sanctioning body, right? We didn't have it from like USA Boxing or a state athletic commission. And that was like not a goal of ours. We weren't trying to skirt that. But it was more like, hey, we talked to the organization and they were like, hey, we'll turn the other way, get it done, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This year I was like, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it the way you're supposed to do it. We're going to get a sanction from either the state that we operate in or from the federal oversight. And this is where I have to show you the players of why this event is not happening. And the first one we need to talk about is USA Boxing. Now, there was a law, and I'm going to have to explain to you a law that passed in 1978 called the Amateur Sports Act. And this act basically dictates any Olympic-style sport will have oversight from a federally run federation. And so if we're talking about swimming, there's a group called USA Swimming. Same with rowing, same with skiing, and same with boxing. And basically every Olympic-style event for that sport needs oversight from this committee, or this committee needs to give jurisdiction to a state to deal with it. And so almost every single boxing event is either run by USA Boxing, or it's maybe run by like a California, Nevada, Florida State Athletic Commission. That's the skinny of it. And so my goal this year was to have one of those bodies oversee the event. Do it the official way. Like we can't skirt it. We need to do it the right way. And I needed to do it the right way, especially because I had gotten like a bit of heat. Like again, I think I ran the event safe. I think we did a good job. I think we avoided any injuries from like bad practice. But I got heat from other people who run boxing events after Chessboxing. And I don't need to get into it because I think it's fine. I think it's good for people to express their thoughts. But they're basically like, hey, you need to do it this way, whatever. Right? You need better due diligence. And I was like, sure. Right? Because basically what would happen is if we got in trouble, I would be sued and I would have to either shell out a bunch of money or go to jail for a year. I was down to do that because I thought everything was by the book. I thought we were doing our best job. This year, I'm not as down to do it. Part of the reason why I'm more risk averse now than I was then is because of off-brand. I now have like 40 employees about that I have to, fuel, help, take care of, facilitate. And back then I had like 15. So we've over doubled it. I'm more risk averse because of that. It's changed a lot of how I operate. I'm less willing to be like, fuck it, dude, let's get sued. Back in the day, I was down. Now it's like, 40 people lose their jobs. That's a lot more pressure. So again, back to it. Because of that, we need to do this by the books. We need to get sanctioned. And this ties back to where we decided to do it, which was Nevada. Las Vegas. Now, Nevada is simultaneously one of the more difficult states to get sanctioned, but also kind of one of the easier ones if you know the right people. And it's like most things in life that you find out the older you get. If you know the right people, you're on the right path. And we had an inroad for somebody who worked directly with one of the commissioners at the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And we thought because of that, we could probably get it sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And at this point, it is worth mentioning the second law that we have to deal with. So like we talked about, right? Every Olympic-style boxing event needs to be overseen by USA Boxing, right? That makes sense. That's the law. Every Olympic-style boxing event needs to be overseen by USA Boxing. Okay, great. Here's the issue, and let me pull it up to you because I think I have it in my email. Chessboxing is not Olympic-style boxing. It's damn close. It's really, really close, in fact, right up until we bring a giant chessboard down from the ceiling and then they play chess for 2 minutes. Everything outside of that, I would call Olympic-style boxing. Unfortunately, according to USA Boxing, it is a bit different. And so our game plan, and this, again, stems back to almost a year ago, right? Like, I guess, almost like nine months ago when we first started the sanctioning process. Our game plan was go to USA Boxing, say, hey, we have this chess boxing event we would like to run. Will you guys sanction our event? Smiley face. We were hoping that they would reply and they would be like, no, smiley face, thank you for asking us. We think your event is different from Olympic style boxing. We recommend you go to the Nevada State Athletic Commission instead of us. That was what we wanted to have happen. And what ended up being somewhat good for us is that did happen. In fact, here is the email. I'm going to block out the name because I don't want to dox anybody. This isn't a flame sesh. It's a fact sesh. Good morning. I reviewed your information you provided for Chessboxing. Thank you for the interest for USA Boxing to sanction the event. At this time, we don't find USA Boxing to be a good fit for the event. USA Boxing's primary objective is to promote and grow the sport of Olympic-style amateur boxing and inspire the pursuit of Olympic gold. To require the boxing at the event to abide by a very specific set of rules that compromise or even contradict the tone and identity of the event is not something USA Boxing is willing to do. Thanks for considering us. Have a good time with the event. Great. Awesome. Okay, this is all going well. And at this point, it is worth mentioning what I find to be one of the more fucked parts of this. You might be thinking to yourself, Ludwig, why did you not get a license or why did you not sanction the event before you started working on the event? And the answer is you don't really get that choice. Oftentimes, they're only willing to look at events that already have a venue or some progress. They don't just like give out permission slips. You need to show some work, and then they will consider giving you the license. There's like a little bit of legwork that needs to be done, which is a bit dumb, but also makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, it would be very easy for anybody to submit for an event to be sanctioned without any legwork, and it would increase the work of the sanctioning bodies, which is, at the end of the day, 5 dudes who are handpicked by the governor. That's what it is. So great. This is going good for us. USA Boxing said, no, chess boxing is different enough. Who is the next group of people we are trying to do? Well, I already alluded to it. It's the Nevada State Athletic Commission. That's it. That's our dream. The Nevada State Athletic Commission is the people that we want to say, hey, we will take care of your event. And they do a lot of shit over in Nevada. You've probably seen some of the events that they do. They do so many events, in fact, that I would argue aren't perhaps as safe as chess boxing, that we felt very good about this, right? So this is the group of people who we wanted to. Why are you saying Nevada wrong? Is it Nevada? Is it Nevada? Nevada. Okay, we wanted Nevada State Athletic Commission to license our event, and we reach out to them, and the first thing they come to us, they go, no, you fuckers. This is a boxing event, and there's a federal law that says that you have to go to USA Boxing to sanction this event. And then we whip out our paper, and we go, like it's Phoenix Wright, and then they go, duh, and it says, USA Boxing already declined this event. Checkmate. And so they had to at least take a look at it. And as I was saying earlier, the Nevada State Athletic Commission sanctions a lot of events that I find much more dangerous than chess boxing. Events like Power Slap, which is the world's premier slap fighting organization, according to powerslap.com, and it's licensed and sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. This, in part, is because of Dana White's relationship with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. He was able to, I think, work favor because of how big UFC is and because of how much business that brings to Nevada to push through slap boxing. All right. Dana White, by the way, a guy who wanted to be a boxer, but then was put off by the idea after seeing a punch-drunk boxer wherein he would suffer from neurodegeneration. That's the same guy who made this event where people's heads do this.
Hand count. Right hand 2. Right hand on 2. Measure and then go. That's measure. It's your chance. 1. He's out. Holy. He's out. Yeah.
I would argue this is much worse than not only chess boxing, it's worse than Olympic style boxing, and it's basically worse than any sport I have ever seen that involves combat because you don't get to protect yourself. You just have to fucking sit there and take a hit and get concussed. And it's like it's speed running CTE for people who want a moment of fame, a belt, and some money. And so, again, because of that, we're hoping that the Nevada State Athletic Commission will approve our event. And we have a connection to some of the people who work with the commissioners, and we're trying to work those relationships, make it all happen, yada, yada, yada. And then a couple of things go wrong. The first one is from a couple of years ago, right? And I guess before I say this, we're very deep in the process, right? Like we started this whole thing back in, I mean, really after Chessboxing, but I mean, we were very deep into it in March, April, May. You know, we're working on all of this. We're over $100,000 deep into operating this event. That's costs for creating the branding, for hiring people, for setting up the game plan for the venue, like all of the sunk cost of people's time and work and effort. And this also includes like paying the fighters. Like I'm paying back all the fighters for all the training they did, obviously, because they put their time, their effort on the line. They shouldn't have to pay it out of pocket. Like there's a lot of money that has gone into this. But we're feeling very good. But a couple of key things happened that made it a lot harder. The first one is a story that's actually a couple of years old, but resurfaced in June of this year after an article from the Rolling Stone came out. And the article is titled Death at Frat Boy Fight Night. And this happened at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV campus. Basically, a frat every year does a charity event that is a definitely unsanctioned, home-brewed boxing event. And everybody shows up, and there's a boxing ring, and everyone gets fucking drunk, and they try to raise money for charity. And they've been running it for a while, and it all was fine until it wasn't fine, and somebody died. All right? They got punched in the ring. They walked off. They were just totally zoned out, and then they died on the spot, and they weren't able to get help fast enough to save the life of the person who passed away. This brought a lot of heat to the state of Nevada. Now, it is worth mentioning and clarifying, this was not a sanctioned event. The Nevada State Athletic Commission had nothing to do with this. USA Boxing had nothing to do with this. This was run by the fraternity. They might have had a sign-off by like a faculty member or like it was a student faculty program, but it did bring a lot more scrutiny to the state as a whole, as a death should. And it started to make things a bit more stringent. And after that, USA Boxing cracked down on the Nevada State Athletic Commission, specifically because they found that the Nevada State Athletic Commission was running a lot of events that were like workarounds for boxing events. And they're not supposed to do boxing events. They're generally supposed to do only MMA events, kickboxing, Ultimate Fighting Championship, whatever, Muay Thai, whatever it is. They're not supposed to be doing Olympic-style boxing. That is always done by USA Boxing. That's the federal law. But this death happens. USA Boxing looks in, and they're like, we need to tighten the belt a bit here. We need to be a little more up to snuff. Why do they need to be up to snuff? The same exact week that this article comes out from the Rolling Stone, there is this huge news that drops. The International Boxing Association was stripped of recognition by the Olympic Committee. Basically, the Olympics has to have people who operate all of their events. And it used to be the International Boxing Association. However, the Olympic Committee decided, these people fucking suck. And what did they say after that? Well, they said boxing's at a crossroads, and we urge every national federation, which includes USA Boxing, that cares about boxers and boxing, to help deliver a better future for the sport. Basically, hey, we have a giant, huge opening that, a country could cover if they wanted to. This is the Olympics talking, so, maybe if America wanted to be a part of it, they could do it. They just need to really have all their T's crossed and their I's dotted. And because of that, they cracked down on Nevada, and in the process where we felt very confident, suddenly we entered a very low confidence area, where Nevada State Athletic Commission was like, hey, I get that USA Boxing said no to you guys, but we will not run a chess boxing event because it has, one, boxing in the title, and boxing should be done by USA Boxing. And then two, it is basically Olympic-style boxing with a 6-minute break where you guys play chess. And they don't recognize the chess portion as different enough to make it a mixed martial arts. I guess if in the chess portion they were to start kickboxing, it would be fine. But because they're actually straight up just playing chess, they consider it rest time, and they just don't give a shit about it. They're basically like, hey, we would show up and referee boxing and then ignore what the chess part is, right? So both parties are saying, hey, we can't help you. USA Boxing is saying it's not close enough to Olympic-style boxing. The Nevada State Athletic Commission is saying this is Olympic-style boxing. You need to go to the USA Boxing. And we're in this endless loop. That's all we're doing. We're just in this endless loop. And the only out that we have, the only thing that we are given from Nevada is to run chess kickboxing. We'd be allowed to do that. All right? We couldn't call it chess boxing. We could call it like chess kickboxing or chess boxing, a MMA event or something, but we couldn't run chess boxing. Here's the problem. They told us this 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. Which would mean the 20-some odd novice fighters who are preparing for their first ever boxing event within 2 months of the actual event would need to turn around and learn how to do American-style kickboxing. That's insane. That's ridiculous. That's way more dangerous. There's no way I would make them do that. Now, here's where there's an additional fun part. Technically, there's nothing in the rules that says you have to kick in kickboxing. We could run a kickboxing event where we tell the fighters, hey, we are doing a homie rule, a gentleman's agreement, no kicking, only boxing. And then we could technically run the event and it'd be called like Mogul Chess Boxing, a mixed martial art experience, right? We'd have to call it something like that. And that would probably pass. There's a couple problems with it, however. One, everybody would have to wear step-in shin guards. They'd have to be barefoot in the ring. And then two, if somebody were to kick, let's just say it's Stock Guy versus Slime. Slime's on the ropes. He puts up his fucking right foot and just rocks Stock Guy. That's legal. The ref wouldn't call it. He would be like, yep, I am a kickboxing ref. That is totally chill. That would be totally fine. And that would create a huge problem. And so this was one of our main options for a long time, right? Is genuinely considering kickboxing where you're only allowed to kick above the waist. It's like American style kickboxing with the step and shin guards. But it felt to me like not the best option, right? And I basically was sitting there and we had 3 roads. And a lot of you guys are spamming one of the options right now of something we could have done. These were the 3 options. Option 1, run it anyway. Right? We did it last year without this sanctioning body. Let's just run it anyway. We can do it safely. Option 2, let's do the kickboxing, right? Let's just run it with kickboxing. I think the fighters will be honest enough. That's fine. Or option 3, go to a new state. Now, we couldn't do it in California. California is a state that's almost impossible to run it in. We'd run into the same problems. But a state like Florida is relatively easy. Most events in the state of Florida run unsanctioned fights. The way they do it, there's actually a very fun workaround, is you get one pro fight. And that fight gets sanctioned, and then the referee in the Florida State Athletic Commission, who are overseeing that one pro fight at the end, will also oversee all of the novice fights that precede it. I mean, it's the fucking Wild West out there. They don't give a shit. They're just like, yep, you have the one pro fight. We'll cover the other 10 fights, no problem. But again, we are doing this 2 months out of the event. That is when they finally told us. Again, it's about 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks, literally a week ago is when we found out for sure these were our only options. So we'd have to find a new venue, get it all set up, sink all the cost into this new state, hope that I'm able to sell enough tickets for people to show up to Tampa or Miami or Orlando or whatever it is, and try to make it happen at all costs. And if this was an event, like any other event except for chess boxing, I probably would do it at all costs, right? Like if this was Greatest Gamer, if this was something else, I would do it. But I reached a point where I was like, okay, why am I trying to run this at all costs right now? What is the main goal? Is this my selfish ego trying to run the event that I am the most known for, that has the highest amount of success? Or is this me trying to do something for other people? Because if I was genuinely trying to run chess boxing the best I can, I wouldn't want to do it rushed. I wouldn't want to risk fighters' safety because we are running it without a sanctioning body. I wouldn't want to risk fighter safety because I am shooing in a boxing event into a kickboxing event and hoping everybody does it right. And I don't think that I need to risk $500,000 of sunk cost because we're going to a new state with 2 months heads up. If I'm going to do this, I should do it the right fucking way. I shouldn't just run it at all costs selfishly because it is a huge event that I run and viewers would like to watch it. And so I went with option 4, 2024. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it fucking correctly. I'm not just going to do an event that people sign up for, risking their own safety and health just to get it across the finish line. That makes no goddamn sense. And yes, there is a huge hill to climb on sanctioning still. Because frankly, the closest we ever got to getting this event sanctioned was Matt, the commentator of last year's chess boxing event, taking a 1-day notice flight across the country to Vegas. And then, I'm not kidding, this actually happened, bombing the commissioner's meeting after it ended and then sitting them all down and explaining chess boxing. That was the closest we got to getting it sanctioned. And it still wasn't close enough to get it in the timeline we needed. He did it. He dead ass did that. It was insane. Because, let's be real, there's a reason Dana White was able to get Power Slap approved. It's about who you know. And there's no way for me to know the commissioner. I'm not kidding you. I looked up every commissioner and their kid, and I went to see if their son watched YouTube. I did that. I stalked the Twitter of every single kid of the commissioner. I was like, if they're a Ludbud, this is in the fucking bag. They're not. One of them plays like football in Oregon or some shit. Shout out to that guy. He's killing it. Definitely a Naden Ross viewer, all right? Don't think he's watching me. Keep it a stack. I just don't think doesn't seem like a gaming type. But I'm hoping if we do it fucking right. And that leads us to where we are today, which is definitely this being the biggest failure of my career. And I don't say that like melodramatically. I don't say that to get pity. I say that very factually, right? Like I'm aware, and I think you guys are keenly aware of like numbers, statistics, how people are doing, the space in general. Like all of that is very obvious. And horizontal live streaming, you guys have probably noticed, isn't doing very well. All right? Nobody gives a shit as much as they did during COVID about live streaming. Live streaming content is on the down. YouTube's still doing well. TikTok's doing great. Reels are fine. Shorts are great. Horizontal live streaming, not so much. And that hasn't been an exception for me either. Here is my average viewership and peak viewership every month of the year. The yellow is 2022. The green is 2023. Man, I had some great fucking months in there, baby. That's the chess boxing month right there. You know, but generally, especially in the past few months, it's fucking down as shit. It's not doing very well. And I made a general promise when I switched over to YouTube to you guys. To the viewers who followed me, I said, hey, I'm going to stream less. My day-to-day streams might even be worse. In exchange, I'm hoping to put all my time and resources into running cool events that I'm proud of, that I think are fun and exciting. That was the trade-off. That was the promise. And I'm not fucking with you, hours every day in meetings. All right. I created a company called Off Brand in part to do that. I have 40 employees that I am in charge of as opposed to 15. And the biggest event that I was the most proud to run isn't going to happen. And if we look back in the past year, what did we really fucking do? Ludwig Tarek Invitational, that was kind of cool. World's Greatest Gamer, sure. But that's it. I didn't have a new mogul money. I didn't have a live show. I'm not even going to have a chess boxing. And so that's why I say it is my biggest failure. Because this whole year, in a way, was a failure. Because we don't have anything to maybe salvage it. I still get nominated, I think, because of legacy for shit like best variety streamer, best streamer. That's a fucking joke. I don't do shit that is groundbreaking. I don't deserve to be labeled up there with people who are actually doing shit and changing the game. I don't. I know that I don't. But again, I don't say that for pity, because it's okay. When I found out that Chessboxing was canceled, that was very motivating for me. I'm not done. I'm not sunsetting. I'm not 30 years old like Squeaks yet. I have 2024. I have, I think, the best fucking team in the world at creating live content. I believe that. I have the motivation to make the best fucking shows I can do in 2024. I believe that. And I think I also have a viewer base who, if I'm honest with, and who, if I speak to and talk about these things, are down for the ride if I'm able to provide shit that is worth their time. And so, 2023, it's a wash. Chessboxing's not happening. I'm going over on all the awards that I can possibly get nominated for. But I promise, and I mean this, that I will do like everything I can do to make sure that 2024, I do shit that's worth your time. Sorry. Whew. It's getting hot in there. All right, that's it. That's the big spiel. That's the drama. I think only other thoughts, I swung too far this year in the direction of, okay, let me focus less on my day-to-days. Let me focus more on events. I swung too far in that direction in a way that I think impacted the stream experience, in a way that like made me not happy with the streams. And I think next year there needs to be a correction. I'm still wanting to do events. Like I think that's still going to be me. And I know a lot of people would be like, "Hey, Ludwig, we just like watching you for you." I like that's fucking dope. I don't like that though. That's not what I'm about. And that's not something that like I want to do. Like, I don't want to just have my personality coast and play fucking Valorant with friends and smile, go haha, and that be me. I want to like put effort in and be proud of what I create. So I think I need a better balance next year. That's my game plan. I've started it already this year. I mean, the year's not fucking over. We got our 24-hour with Squeaks. Hoping to do, as much cool shit as I can do more events. Put less stock into events. I don't mean to. I hope this didn't come off as this is all the Nevada State Athletic Commission's fault and USA Boxing. Right? Like, it's a very difficult process, but I also took a bet going to Nevada. I could have chose to go to Florida day one, and this probably would have happened. That was my choice. That was my bet. I made that call. That was my call. And so next year, I'm hoping that, the time we put into these events, it results in stuff that's more in our control, right? Like maybe putting more time into events that we have full control over, that doesn't require a commission to operate. And we're talking about doing shit like that. And I did say at the end, I had some good news. And I don't want to marry it exactly to this video because I think there's a twinge of sadness that's attached to this. And so to then be like, hey, here's the event that's happening, it would be like, oh, okay. So I'm not going to announce it today, but a week from today, I will. A week from today, I am going to announce one of the biggest events that I will ever be a part of in my life. It's an event that I genuinely think transcends anything I will ever create. I don't want to say much more about it. I know an announcement of an announcement is cringe, but that is happening next week. Next week, the 4th, I will be talking about it. It's an event that will happen I think end of November, early December-ish. It's going to happen this year. So we at least have something for the end of the year. And then I have a new show coming that is also hopefully happening early November. and super pumped about that. Germa has been, let me tell you, an absolute god of creative in all the meetings for Off-Brand, just crushing ideas. And I think we have something really special that is much less derivative than what Mogul Money was to Jeopardy. But, you know, I'm still uncreative as fuck, so it's derivative to an extent. And there's good shit on the horizon. Like, also, Ludwig Tarek Invitational. And I think my game plan is do that, do good fucking streams. I've been very motivated recently by streamers like Extra Emily, who I feel like is motivated and crushing every stream in a way that I was when I was a newer streamer, but haven't been as much recently. To like come up with shit like 24-hour stream with Squeaks, or I asked 100 YouTubers for ideas, or I asked 100 of you guys for ideas. Like that's shit I should be doing. And I think that's the main points. That's the main squeeze that I wanted to get out, that I wanted to shit out, talk about. She said you were her biggest influence. Funny how it flips. Student has become the master. And then MXS. We're doing monthly show matches with the MXS. Our first one's going to be with C9. It's going to be on the 2nd. That's Monday. It's going to be through Red Bull. It's going to be one straight up match, MXS for C9, and then a best of 3 with Double Agent, which is like a bit of a gimmicky format, but whatever. It's fun. But then we're going to do straight up best of 5s against like the fucking cloudest teams, the dopest teams. Like, I want MXS to do a show match against Sentinels. I want MXS to do a show match against Loud, against PRX, against Fnatic. Like, whoever will play us in the offseason, let's fucking play, baby. Best of 5, once a month. All right? Let's get in the commentary booth, me and whoever your guy is. Let's do it with Carmine. Let me do it with Komet. Let me get on a call with that man. I think these are all things I'm thinking of, basically. And that's it. That's it, chat. That's the main squeeze. That's all I got for you. Is it clickbait or is he canceling Chessboxing? Dude, I put my heart out there for like a straight hour. Spit nothing but bars. That's all you got from me? No, this doesn't have to be the whole stream. I can stay live. I can stay live. Here's the issue. I have no idea what I'm going to do today. Like, genuinely no idea. I only planned to tell you guys that stuff. My mind is blank, like I just fought the demons in the Salvia dungeon. So, I don't know. I don't even know what to do. You know what? You know what's probably best? It is probably best. What do I do? I was going to say it's probably best we end and then just like I restart stream at like 7 o'clock and I like go to the gym right now. Reason being, not because I'm dying to go to the gym, but because like the title and thumbnail, everyone's going to ask about Chessboxing. And so unless I change a title and thumbnail, it's just like if I'm watching Jetlag, I'm going to have 50 motherfuckers in here being like, yo, what up? So let me do that. I think it makes sense. I don't want to change the title and thumbnail because I want people to know about what I just talked about, I think. Let me do that. I'll be back. I promise I'll come back. I'm going to set up the stream right now. I know I always say I'll be back and then I don't. I will be back. I'll set it up right now. jet lag watch party after I do this insane thing no one has ever done before. Come watch my stream, smiley face. Keep your chin up. My chin is up. I want you guys to know I am 0% demoralized in my feels about this. I'm very motivated by this. I'm not happy that I failed. I'm not happy that I took bets that didn't pay off. Obviously, no one is. But I'm not leaving like sulking. That's not how it is. Anyway, chat, I think what might be a positive way to wrap this up, we have 18,000 people here. It's going to sync fast, so I got to move fast, is if we did a love raid to somebody over on twitch.tv, a website that has Twitch Prime and also a better chat, which I am not bitter about at all. I don't even care about it. I honestly think it's worse to have a better chat. Let's do it with Sandwich. I'm down for that. Everybody, if y'all want to give some love over to Sandwich, she paid out of pocket for the first bit of training and was going to fight in my event and is not able to fight in my event. So if you guys do have a Twitch Prime, I think 200 million fucking people in the world have Amazon Prime. All you got to do is click the subscribe button, scroll down, see if there's a checkbox where the crown is, click it. It'll say subscribe free. Also, subs are cheaper? $3.74. What the hell? I don't even follow her. Okay, that's actually messed up with me. Give some love over to Sandwich. I'm going to eat my wrap. Yeah, I got to go eat my wrap. I'll be back at 7 o'clock, though, I promise. Thank you all for watching my explanation. Hopefully you understand it. If you think I made dumb decisions and got myself into this situation, you are right. I don't judge you. I don't blame you. All right, that's it. Thank you all, chat. Go give some love over to Sandwich. Oh my God, look at all the fucking follows. If you got a Prime, use a Prime, baby. Do not keep it. They do not roll over. You don't get 2 Primes next month if you don't use it for 30 days. Every day you lose $1 of value. It's not good math, but you get what I'm saying. It's been a while since I've done the read.
For inviting me to be a part of the event, even though I'm the local Humegalol in Los Angeles, and hello. Fuck me! That's so many primes!
See you later, chat.
What is happening over there? I guess you guys can't use your primes on YouTube.